got a square across the
Yeah,
center of it.
it says this meeting is being recorded. Why doesn't it
Click
go
it.
away? Oh, I could just move it down maybe. Oh, there it is. Goodbye. Not, it's not doing it. Oh, it is. Oh.
Oh, thank you so much, Joan.
You're very welcome.
Welcome to Gaia's Zoom room on, what is it? Already June, what, 9th?
8.
8th. Well, I was a little ahead of myself, but not too badly. And thank you for the music. It was wonderful, Joan. And the
Yeah.
pictures, how adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
imagine holding a squirrel like that.
Aren't they
Oh,
wonderful?
yeah.
Now I've got to find my way back.
Yeah, you could stop sharing and you can
I
find your
thought
way.
I had. Oh,
Nope.
it's up. You know what? It went up to the top. That's why. I clicked it while I was at the bottom, but it didn't. It went.
It moved. Yeah. Wow. And here we are in Gaia's Zoom room. And today my background is the blackboard from the Butler Urban Garden here in Kamloops. And it was pointed out to me, I wasn't here or there when the sign was made, but the heart is there. So it's one of, it was brought to my attention so I would know that there is an affiliation with Our Heart Gardens. And so
Cool.
I am charmed by it, and letting you know that the garden is growing and amazing again this year. And I'm very, very proud of the people involved. And I love working with them, although I haven't been able to go and visit them very often. What with my feet issues, you know, standing is not all that fun yet.
But you'll be able to when you.
That's right. I'm on the mend. I am on the mend, and looking forward to traipsing through Mexico with Ximena. Yay!
You will heal here, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm pretty sure too. I'm really looking forward to it.
I am healing right now, my friend of the feet.
Are you? Getting good
Yeah.
practice then.
Because but she's very, very disciplined and all days at 10, all days at 10. And we did a very important advance because she's not getting an operation. So she healed.
Wonderful. Yay.
That's
that's
wonderful.
wonderful.
Yeah.
What
Pranic
is
healing is amazing. I swear. It's
oh,
amazing. We can say that those are the natural laws of the body to heal itself. But when you see these miracles because she was told by 2 physicians that she would need an operation. And then she didn't have like very much resources, not how to see a physician here in Mexico. So I found a dear friend of mine. I told him, can you please attend her without any cost? And he said, of course, of course. And she went to see him and he told her, you don't need any operation.
Wonderful.
well, as long as she gets better without the operation, yes.
Yeah. You will.
I'm so glad. Yeah, I just heard from Davidson, a friend that we met at the Humanity Rising After Chat. He's been coming in and listening to Humanity Rising and then coming to the After Chat. And I just heard from him that he has typhoid fever and malaria at the same time.
God.
And he has no health insurance.
Can I help him?
If you can help him, Jimena,
Yes.
that would be an amazing thing.
Of course.
He is a powerful man, not because of being a powerful man, but the things that he's doing are very powerful within his community. He's a member of the Rotary Club in Kenya, in his area, Mount Elgin region. He has worked with religious leaders in the area before, and he is now trying to work with them again through this coming election period. And often they have uprisings and violence happen during these times of election. And so his influence, he's very much aware of, Humanity Rising and the good things that are happening. And he brings that to his people. And I would really like to see him get better. I contacted the AFHD, which works with homeopathic remedies. They're the ones that put out the COVID remedy. That's just a sound file and it's free. And it's a friend of mine through Humanity Rising used it when she had contacted COVID, and she had a very light dose. She recovered very quickly. And so, even if, you don't use it when you first, as a preventative, thank you, it's there for you. And I'm going to put that in the links.
Is this the ivermectin?
I'm sorry?
Is this the medicine that is called ivermectin?
No, it's just a sound file. You just listen to it for a minute, 3 times the first time.
The waves of the sea.
Yes, the waves of the sea. And it's so simple. And
Please send me that sometime.
I'm going to send that to you right now. just to let you know also, I use a homeopathic remedy for skin because I had shingles. I had shingles 3 times.
What is shingles?
Shingles. It is the measles virus.
No, chicken pox.
Chicken pox
Ah.
virus.
Yeah.
And so it comes back and gives really bad.
Oh, I understand
whack.
what it is. Okay.
You know what it is. Okay.
That's very complicated.
Not complicated. It's just awful. There
But
you go.
It
Painful.
hurts. It hurts.
Painful. Very painful.
Painful, yes.
Mm.
Yeah. The itching, the burning, the blisters, the raw skin that leaves the nerves wide open to the air. It's horrible, and my having it, I think it was 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and now I've been taking this homeopathic remedy. It's just a little tablet that you put into water, and you pound the container on the heel of your hand in order to get that throughout all the water. And you just take a mouthful of it a day, and that will maintain the resistance to the shingles virus.
Good.
I am so happy with it.
Yeah.
Shannon, have you tried fasting?
Fasting?
Yeah.
Well, seeing as how it is brought on by stress, I wouldn't think that stressing my body would be a good thing. I don't know. I haven't tried fasting.
Look, yesterday I found an information that I had lost. So I have it very fresh. Let me tell you what happens when you fast. Because every single problem that you have on the skin arranges.
Arranges?
Like gets fixed.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, let me look for it.
Okay, you do that.
You talk about something.
Talk about something else. I'm going to do that. There are other things happening that I do want to talk about. You know, in this world has been so full of bad news. One of the groups of people impacted has been the journalists. And really, you know, it's hard to listen to what they write anyway, because they're all seeming to write, you know, the party line. And if they are not writing the party line, then they're kind of out. So the ones who are out, they're still trained in journalism, and they're very passionate about what they write. And why not give them an opportunity to write good things instead of bad things? And so Stan, who started the After Chat of Humanity Rising, last night he came up with an idea, and today, during the After Chat, after I had left, he told the people about what the idea was. And that is a new channel of good news created by these journalists who are currently out of work, and getting them to write stories for the charities and the good works that they're doing, so that people can see the good works and put money where there's a track record of good things, or ideas that are good for the coming and who would benefit from the funds coming in. And the people who benefit from that would be the ones who fund the network. And so the people who were in the After Chat today there's one woman who, with a single email, would contact 5,000 people. And I know that Humanity Rising has other networks all listening and gleaning information from Humanity Rising. And the after chat stands wiki, other networks, .org. He's got a lot of networks. He is a network of networks. And so the possibilities for this are really quite wonderful. It's the Our Heart Gardens concept, the network of networks, in getting us all connected and talking about what we're doing that's good, and contacting the other part of that is, you know, calling out for the needs, and that's like funding or help. And so this is very much what Gaia gave me as a download. And the other thing that's new and different is that Joan and I have been working on the Our Heart Gardens website, and Julie has, we've had a conversation about her helping me make it look prettier. And so I'm working on that. And tomorrow she's going to be meeting with me in the afternoon. We're going to talk about different methods of making it look good. And so these are the wonderful things that are in the offing. And have you found it, Jimena? No?
No, something happened.
Oh, no. This is par for the course. And perhaps it's just not meant to happen today, and maybe we'll have to save it for a week.
Yes, don't worry. I
I'm
will
not-
find it.
Another
Because
time.
yesterday I opened all the pages, but right now I don't think the memory of the phone like keep the pages.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, the history, it should be in the history.
Oh yeah, the history.
Yeah. And so I'm going to invite Joan. What's going on in your garden?
In my garden. Actually, I had a chance. First of all, I talked to three people that I haven't spoken to in a long time over the last day or so, which was very, very nice. One of them was who I call my Aunt Gloria. And she's in her 90s, I'm fairly certain. She's living in a senior community in Virginia. She moved there from New York. Her daughter Juliet and son Roger had gone out to Virginia because Juliet was a veterinarian, and she worked with horses. But unfortunately, that also led to a problem, a health problem, and she passed away. But and Roger sadly also did. It was just like strange going out to Virginia seemed to be a strange thing. But anyway, we've kept in touch, and it's lovely to be able to talk to her. And she does keep in touch with other members of her actual family. So I got to talk to her, and it was good to hear her. And she said that she told me about a movie that I have to look into. It was called Soul, Soul. I have to look and see what it is. But when I first called her, she was on her way out to dinner and to see the movie. So that was lovely talking to her because, it was a while, since I had spoken with her. And then I was on Facebook. I don't go into Facebook a lot, but recently I've gone in to be able to I mean, I can't remember specifically what I was originally going in for, but the woman, one of the women who was uh, a, one of the best people at mine and Alex's wedding,
Mhm.
I saw her online and I was like, Dottie, I hadn't seen her, talked to her for such a long time. So we had a brief talk while she was on her way home from work. And then she kind of reached an area where her cell phone was
Wouldn't work.
wouldn't sing, yeah, no signal. So we're gonna talk again. But the other person I got to speak with, I told about our heart gardens and I told her about Humanity Rising, and she was like, that is so amazing. She was so, pleased to. She said it's just a really amazing thing, that it sounded wonderful. So that was really lovely. And this is someone who was a very good friend of mine when I was in grammar school, and we knew each other and we grew up and
Oh,
and then she got married. She moved to New Hampshire. She got married, but it was lovely talking to her and catching up with her. And she and her husband own a farm. That's where they first were living after they got married. He was a dairy farmer, and it's all very natural. They eat. He grows all their food.
oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
Oh,
Very organic, very wonderful. So it was nice being able to tell them about our heart gardens and humanity rising and stuff. So
yeah.
that's what's been good here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's lovely to hear.
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. So, humanity, did you find it?
Yes,
Ah,
I found it. So, well, this was a healer who healed herself because he believed in the power of self-healing.
right.
And she said that she always proved things in herself in order to recommend them or do them to other people. And she talks about the power of healing from urticaria and this kind of eruptions in the skin, because it has to do with all the eruptions in the skin.
Mm.
And she recommends to fast 3 days. She says the first day you are as hungry as a wolf. And then the body reacts and you start getting like even more than when you have it. Okay. And the third day, everything disappears. And
So
this
that
is
would be a
like,
water diet?
yeah, this is like a detox, a complete detox of your body. No food, no toxins, no minerals, no anything. No
Yeah,
vitamins.
I've done a 3-day fast before. It was good.
And it's got to do also with the power. Oh wait, here it was. The power of contacting mind, body, and spirit.
Mm.
Okay, so those 3 days are mind, body, and spirit.
Ah,
And it has to do with allowing yourself to be connected to the universe and to your superior being in order to heal. So yeah, she really advised this method, and it's just like fasting.
mm,
She says that it has been 10 years that she hasn't got any rash
mm.
on her skin. And she had allergies about almost everything she ate.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so she says that she highly recommends this.
Mhm.
And that's it.
Excellent. Yeah, I've when I was in Rotterdam, we went through a fast together, and it was quite interesting.
Mhm.
And very healthy. And then we also did a raw food diet for, was
Okay.
it 2 weeks? Um, Interesting. I missed the variety. But you know, got to try these things, and good to try them. Um, I
Yes.
I watched something today on Gaia, the Gaia network.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he
Mhm.
talked about he talks about the rewiring of the
Yeah. Have
human
you seen
body.
those videos?
I'm going through them now. The one that I went into was the pineal gland,
Mhm.
and I had to continue on with the series. They're each half an hour, so I had to watch at least two, if not three, because it was so interesting. Uh, the the Kundalini and how meditation will create the Kundalini rush that people are talking about. And the way he talks about it is refreshing for me because it is based on science. And as much as a spiritual person as I am also so connected with the scientific side. I am not one, my mother would disagree. I'm not one to be taken in by the woo woo, as woo woo as I am. I appreciate the science. And it's like knowing where in your brain the pineal gland sits so I can send it energy. If you don't know where it is, if you cannot imagine where it is, your energy, that attention, it is dissipated. And so once you have a clear picture in your mind what you want your energy to do, it's like heart brain heart breath coherence. When you get your breath and your heart in coherence with each other, your body is so supported. And so that's what the Heart Math Institute talks about. It's really rather, oh, Joao is
Joao is
with
here.
us. Hey,
Hi, hello Shannon, hello
hello.
Simona, hello Finn.
Hi.
Hi,
Oh,
Nice to be
Joe.
here.
good to have you come. Yeah, we've been talking about all sorts of things online and health wise, and talking about the good things that have happened in our lives. And so I'm going to ask if maybe you would like to tell us something good that happened in your life, Joe.
Sure, I like to.
Excellent.
I think that the last call I did talk about some great things that I find here, especially about the community of Santo Daime Church. But what happened me for most especially, much synchronicities. I think let me choose some. I'm thinking, so,
And you think while I talk for a moment, okay?
okay.
Uh, because synchronicities are very, very special to me. I have my very own way of referring to them. I call them mom, because synchronicities are like magic, and they're magic in our ordinary moments. And so magic in ordinary moments is mom. And the way I look at it is that it's the active hand of the divine in our lives that change our lives or guide us. And it's an amazing thing that happens in all our lives, whatever we believe. And the more we notice, the more it happens. And you're smiling and nodding, Jimena. So what are you think? Did you have a good mom recently?
I don't know.
I've been taking pictures of screenshots of when I open my phone, and it's right on the hour, or it's 3:21, or 4:56. These for me are very magical because there are very few ways of that the divine has to actually speak in our lives. And so if we make an agreement, if we say, okay, if this happens, it is the hand of the divine active in my life. This is mom speaking to me. And that's the agreement that I made with the divine, is that I will notice sequences of numbers and groups of numbers that are meaningful. And it happens so often for me. And Joan, I know it happens for you too.
All the time.
It's,
and it's happened. It's happened for me since I was quite young. Seeing double numbers, seeing like a palindrome before I even knew what a palindrome was.
That would
or
be
the whole
1001, right?
Yeah, 1001. It's backwards. It's spread exactly the same way. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of it as being the hand of the divine, or messages from the other side?
Yes, of course. But you asked me lately, like, I don't recall anything that happened lately. No,
Yeah.
I am applying for a translation job that I just saw, and my aunt was lighting a candle for
Lighting.
me, praying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somehow I noticed that I cannot apply because my French is not the best. But she told me, try it, like just tell them these are my combinations, because it's very difficult that you have like also the combinations in translation and interpreting, because some are translators and other are interpreter. So I just wrote a letter. I'm wishing that I can have that job, because it's gonna help me right now very much with my plans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you just happen on this? I mean, was this all of a sudden something that you came upon, not even expecting for you to be able to apply? It was something that just came up.
Yeah, it just happened
That's a mom.
this weekend.
That's a mom.
And I was looking LinkedIn, and somehow it appeared, and I was like, I like this very much. But they didn't specify exactly what was the position. They just said you need to know these languages, and I expected them that they had read my resume. And in my resume, I have cleared out that I'm not the best in French, which level I have.
Well, I wish you the best.
Right away that they wrote to me, because I have like a lot of experience in diverse moods, and I talk about moods because of the embassy and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and that helps out very much.
Yeah.
And also because of the companies that I work for and the scientific areas that I am specialized in.
It's very
So
important.
yeah, so they called me right away, but I am kind of, I don't know, because today I just read something that they sent me and it was like, oh no, French.
Well, I suspect that you are more valuable than they imagine, and
You're so
I trust that they will see your value in
thank
in
you.
short order. Short order.
And I am trying to learn Portuguese, Joao, because it's Roman lang and I speak Spanish and I speak Italian and I did study French a lot of years, but I don't know what happened over there. I'm not very friendly with French. And it's very difficult for me. And Portuguese, I really read it and I understand everything. So I just want to know how to write and the words and the pronunciation.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's not. People say it's not easy Portuguese, but
No,
I
I bet each language has
yes.
difficulties. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find something to share, but I wrote something some days ago, and was my telling my history, how I got in the mountains, and it was I write this. Let me. Yeah, I wrote at the age of 16. I subtitled documentaries about the fiat currencies and was in the movement of Zeitgeist and anonymous forums to raise awareness, unity, and to in 2011 we go to the streets, and I left my job in the industrial automation and went to take the streets in the protests against the banks, in the Occupy movements. It was a strong experience in the center of Rio de Janeiro, with people who occupy with tents. Our cause was to fight against the banks. Our reality was very interesting brainstorms where everyone repeated the person's speech so that everyone could hear and feed, and also in parallel we was like feeding the residents that was living the streets also. It was impressive for me, a young dreamer, until the moment that at night, when only the people who had tents were left, people from outside create a fight, and because of the drinks, and in this fight the movement was just blow up. And I felt a lot of lost of the meaning that expectations. For me was very strong. I feel empty, and I went to my tent and I cried. I didn't know some the way in the moment. Was kind of my purpose was vanishing. So I prayed. I asked for the Divine Mother to open the path of the that people. And the next day, a very friendly person, actually was my ex-girlfriend. She woke me up and she let me to the beach, and he know each other, and we start a relationship. And after this, I would go back for my house, and we keep the contact with her. And that I was for her house that was very close for where I living, but in the mountains. So I was living in the sea. So in 2012, I went to live in the mountains here in Rio de Janeiro, and there I spent a beginning of an incredible year. I realized that I should take care of me instead of trying to change the world, and connecting with the forest. But the emptiness that I felt, that purpose I had and left behind, where was it? I went up a hill and I received a pass, a cure. Uh, so I was guided to this house called Flor da Montanha, where we sing hymns received by the spirits and consecrate Santo Daime. About a year later, on one of these jobs singing, I found myself in again praying and on the open path, and I have the confirmation of the Divine Mother. I was in her presence again. That was I wrote, trying to explain what's happening. This was very special for me.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. I'm glad you found the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I would like to see everyone find a place like you found your place. And the more places that are out there, the more chances there are that everyone will find a place that is good and that he holds them body and soul in a good way. And that brings us around to today's endeavor. I have brought a document that I'd like to discuss with you guys. And what it is it's a retrospective for what would happen in Kamloops, where I live, 5 years down from the establishment of the first Our Heart Gardens here in Kamloops. And I feel that this is a timely document to bring forward because of the difficulties that we are facing with the residential school and the mass grave that was found with the 215 children. In order to go forward in a good way, we need to do this together. And so what vehicle can we all get into to take us to a positive, preferred future, one that we can all enjoy? And so the idea of OhGs being the vehicle, this is the document that I came up with. And I call it For Families in Downtown. And so I'm going to share my screen. And we will go through it together. And it's active, which means that if we decide on changing it, we can do that because we have the ability. So watch me. I'm just going to change something. OhGs, Downtown and For Families. Einstein said, problems cannot be solved with the same mindset that created them. We have problems to solve and many resources to work with. Our new mindset, our new paradigm, must be created by nurturing and empowering people. Co-creation and cooperation are key. In the following sections, we discuss the effect of the establishment of Our Heart Gardens, OhGs, after about 5 years. First on the people it will help most and most visibly, and then on 4 imaginary families living in various communities in Kamloops, BC, Canada. The first one that we encounter is downtown. The atmosphere has changed. There are no panhandlers or homeless people hopelessly sitting on sidewalks, people with nowhere to go and nothing to do. The welfare office doesn't have lineups anymore. Where is everybody? Now, keep in mind that this was written before COVID happened. And so this is, we don't see people sitting the way they did before COVID. And I don't know where they've gone. And so that's an interesting aspect that does need to be woven into this. But keeping that in mind, I'm just going to go through these 5 points, and then let's talk about it. Okay? So some have gone to the downtown OGs to access services like welfare or to volunteer for gardening or city maintenance tasks. Others are at the Sahali OGs to hear Grandfather Weston's stories, and they access services there too. Coffee with breakfast draws people in, and they can bathe and do laundry, stash their stuff, and participate. Some come to do what they used to do when they worked for money: acting, tutoring, baking, gardening, or they teach it. Or they help and provide support to the OG's staff and others. So this is what the downtown has changed. Now, a community center where we grow food together, where we feed each other and do things together like harvesting and utilizing the produce and the environment within a building for socializing and making music and creating beautiful things together, basket weaving or other skills, teaching each other skills from our cultures. Seems like a nice thing to do together. It also gives us an opportunity to listen to each other and to learn how to work together. And so the effect of pulling those street people off of the streets and helping them to find valuable things to do with their time so that they're not having to guard the few possessions that they do have, so that they can feel comfortable where they are so they're not at risk, so that they get to have interaction with people of different social status, and people begin to see people for who they are instead of what their financial status is, where their social status is. We start seeing people for who they are. And I feel that that is a very valuable thing to have happen in our downtowns. And so we can go on from there, unless you guys have anything that you would like to say about that.
I love the project. I would like to know more. Make me think about, firstly, about some kind of education ground make me remember about some projects here in education that we use Rudolf Steiner methodology for education, and I find that in some countries, some places, it's not easy to create education outside the the
School
establishment.
system. Yeah.
Outside the
Yeah.
box.
And here Brazil, we quite do it where I live, and it's a way much more effective to grow up with the right mindset, with love, and really care about the education. Not, but i- what the OGs are, I want to know exactly. It's something that's already functional. Yeah.
No, Joe, I'm so sorry. It isn't yet. The concept is,
You have to say it is.
it is, okay, it is. The concept
It's
is,
lacking to be in this plane of reality, but it is functioning.
Yes, I see.
well, we're working on spreading the idea. Um, I do that through Humanity Rising and the After Chat, and I am making myself available for conversations about how we create this in the what Stan of the After Chat has said to me. There are already thousands of our heart gardens out there already, but and they don't have all of the aspects of the Our Heart Gardens concept yet, and those aspects are very important. The things like the mixing of the old generation and the young generation together, uh, the teaching in the gardens, schooling children in a good way with love and close to their parents, and allowing the village to raise the children, uh, so that parents don't have to hold their children so tightly. And so when the children grow up, there's not such a hard break. And everybody is traumatized when someone in a family that has been so tight breaks up. And so through interactions and looser relationships with our parents, we can enjoy them more. And the children grow up feeling secure within their OGs, within their neighborhood, within their community, and repurposing buildings to use them for growing food indoors, sheltered from the hot sun, so we can provide them with the needs of that they need, the plants need, in order to provide us with the foods that we need in order to grow healthy and strong. And so the concept is a strong one, and I'm still working on ways of providing the idea to people so that it can grow, and Gaia will have given us oops you slid right off my lap,
And manifest.
and manifest, exactly. And so let's go into another OGs. Oh, in the other one is not an OGs yet. It's the effect of the OGs. Now, people do not always live with a family, sometimes by choice and sometimes not. Many of their varied needs, I want to bring you in so you can see my words. Okay. Many of their varied needs can be satisfied at OGs. For example, there's a man of 26 who works long hours and has no time to find friends, and he comes to OhGs to be with others, to get a good meal. It's better than going to the bar. And he's met a nice girl. There's a woman, 35, who works hard all day and misses her family, but the job is here in Kamloops. She comes to OhGs to get her hair cut, to do her laundry, and laugh with the ladies in the moon room. There's a boy, 17. He was kicked out of home, and he came to eat, to find a place to sleep and something to do. A girl, 19, pregnant and beaten, came for sanctuary and help. A man of 65 on a fixed income. His rent increased, so he needs to access the rental lists, and he's lonely and hungry, and he finds a friend to share a place. A woman of 72 is lonely. She came to share her story and wisdom gleaned in her long life. She has time and money and likes to be a part of things. She buys her meals at OhGs because they're good and she doesn't have to cook. Casinos only take her money and give her nothing. There's a young man of 19. He takes meds for clinical depression and cannot hold a job because of side effects and appointments. He finds the atmosphere uplifting and he's feeling better. No extra appointments needed. He's hopeful it's a trend. And there's a young woman of 23, broken home, broken life, comes to a place that welcomes her, helps her feel hope and something to do. These are all aspects of the OhGs concept. These are the kinds of people that are helped. There are 4 families that I have imagined to be affected. The Easters live in Valley View. It's a new family. And the husband works at Hydro. That's the power company. The mother is stressed by the new baby. There's no outside contact. There's money issues and health concerns. She takes the bus using a bus pass earned yesterday at OhGs, first thing after her husband goes to work, so she can have breakfast at OhGs. She learns good management and people skills while supporting volunteers in the day's tasks. And the baby stays with the aunties in the childcare center. It's free if she participates. She gets good, healthy food, so is able to breastfeed her little one. It's healthy and good value. She enjoys working in the happy atmosphere where the bottom line is not the focus. And she likes the idea of encouraging people instead of pushing them. She especially enjoys contact with people and being close to her baby. He takes the bus to work using a pass earned on a previous day. He manages contracts that bring alternative power sources to the grid. After work, he joins his family at OhGs. He likes to use his body after sitting all day, so helps move planters, mix soil, or works out in the POP, which is the gym that with machines that convert his energy and his effort into power. He enjoys the guest speakers that educate or entertain them while they eat supper, and afterwards there's lots of different ways of socializing. He's glad there's something cheap to do that's fun. Paying a reasonable rate once a month covers all the suppers and the workouts and the fun and helps to keep our heart gardens running. For others without work, different arrangements are made, but it's not important to him. Everyone is valuable, sharing time and working together at our heart gardens. They've been unable to find a family doctor, so having access to the paramedics, nurses, nutritionists, herbalists, chiropractor and naturopath students has been very good. He's been able to avoid medical issues that could have benched him. Knowing that his family is safe and happy, eating good food with good people relieves his concerns, and all symptoms of clinical depression have disappeared. It's surely the atmosphere, but is it the positive vibes or the effects of the bacteria that lives in the dirt that makes the air smell so good? Either way or both, it works for him and it works for everyone. When they go home, there's lots of others on the bus, people from the garden and others, even though it's late. Since ridership has increased, the buses are more frequent and the people on them are happier too. So more people use them. So does any of this ring any bells for any of you? Can you imagine living like this?
I think what I can imagine is a lot of the people who I grew up in New York City,
Yeah.
and in New York City, too often, in so many places, there are people who are living on the street, and that would be such an amazing thing for them if they could find or had access to a place like that. And I can imagine a lot of the people no longer having to uh, be sleeping in a doorway with their little cart, you know, and their possessions with them. It's New York City needs something like this. All cities, I think, need in places like this.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for your input, Joan.
There
So,
was Ananda that came a couple of times here to the conversation and told us how to create community. And there were some situations that she outlined. That is why I thought that that could not be for me at all. And one was that dogs were not allowed it.
oh, mhm.
Yeah, because you cannot have like your own dog and in the same place that everybody is. Because if everybody wants to do this, imagine how difficult this could be.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was one issue. The other one was kind of there is no privacy, which is for me really out of the question. I need privacy. I think everybody needs privacy somehow.
Mhm.
And she said that there were no walls. There were clothes like to divide the spaces.
Cloths, yeah.
Mhm. There was no intimacy, you know, between couples because like
There was no privacy.
mhm,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I would love Joao to explain how they live this or how they cope with it, because maybe they have a different story, and I can understand that these are other types of communities that I've been considering.
Yeah, I had some experiences, but today where I live, it's everyone has their own home, and the community, the common, it's more autonomy work with or what we have in common. But it's a challenge because of our economic system divide us in this, you know, as well. That's why I was here like hearing Shannon, and the atmosphere that I feel with what you write is much more than a project that it needs to be to really manifest it, but it's much more that we have to feel, need to feel this, and people believe in it to really go and make it happen and keep the thrivability of it in their passion to do. And I totally see the possibility of creating products with maybe the seeds could help. Uh, it's a system to create proposals, and you can can create your own economy. You know, in this it's a way also to organize, decentralize this, and create feeling of a movement that can scale. And I feel that so many initiatives that are happening like this, and as you said, the OGs that is happening, and we have now the tools, but we are coordinating this because now we have the tools to really um, create this autonomy that we need, and people could create their ways to create value. And if it's value happening in the regenerative uh, communities, I think that we have to be aware that this opportunity that is happening now. And I want to read something, but for after you read the document, I don't know.
Okay, we'll stay on topic for now, and then we'll come back to you, Joe. Thank you so much.
Mm.
So let's find out about the Weston family. The Weston family lives in Brocklehurst, a single mother with 6-month-old twin girls and a 2-year-old son. They share a 1-bedroom apartment with her First Nations grandfather-in-law. Nobody brings in a paycheck. Both are diabetic. She was an honor student with plans to become a doctor, but got pregnant at 17. The father stood by them, but was recently killed in a car accident after having a couple of drinks after work, and so there's no insurance money. While she dislikes being on welfare, there's really no choice until she's worked long enough at OhGs to be able to get a reference. She tries hard to arrive early so all can be fed and settled before she starts to work, but things happen, so sometimes they're later than she likes, but OhGs doesn't watch the clock. The babies are left with grandfather or the child care center until she's finished work. She helps Mrs. Easter manage the tasks for the day until it's time to make lunch. She lends the chef a hand with food preparation, has a bite to eat herself, then helps in the community kitchen to handle the food collected or gleaned for the food hub. She's learning how to run her own kitchen and will take classes to become the doctor she dreamed of being, but that decision doesn't have to be made yet. She's young, and so are the kids. She's been seeing a grief counselor at the OhGs once a week. The support she gets from the counselor, along with being a part of the OhG community, is comforting and helps to keep her family together. She's been urged to think of others as a way to take her out of herself and her troubles. And when she listens in the sharing circles, she forgets her broken heart. It's helped her confidence to share how she feels in the sharing circles, and people treat her better now they know her. Grandfather Weston watches the kids or teaches carving. After supper, he drums for the circle and tells stories, shares his culture and wisdom. All the kids just love him. Having people around keeps him stimulated, as does being a member of the Elders' Council. It's been a source of great satisfaction, First, that he was elected, and now that people listen to his counsel and his stories. After lunch, he takes a nap in the lounge, then teams up with a couple of young people for a half-hour walk to walk the place, providing a welcome to new people or a calming influence should discord arise. It gives him a reason to go for that walk everybody's supposed to get every day, and allows him to get to know some of the young people. Having two to walk with him, one can run messages or go for assistance should it be needed. It hasn't been needed yet, but it's good to be prepared. She goes home early with the children so they can get to bed, and she gets the place to herself. She takes a well-earned long soak in her tub. Yes, hers, because everybody else bathes at the garden. She enjoys bathing there too because she loves getting her back washed, and the towels are so fluffy. A little luxury to warm her heart, to help her remember the pleasures of being alive. The whole family consults the nurses and the doctor who drops in once a week. She created a diabetic clinic to deal with all the people with the same kind of issues. It's become a club like AA where everybody gives everybody else support and help. The doctor has been pleasantly surprised at how healthy people are getting, especially because of the peer support in the club and getting diabetic appropriate meals. Grandfather comes home and sleeps on the sofa, happy after a long day and quiet bus ride home. He doesn't miss the excitement of the years he spent in bars. Now he has a good place to go that appreciates him. He sleeps well, though not for long. You don't when you're old and happy. I didn't share that screen with you, did I? So did any of that ring any bells for you?
One of the things I thought about,
Mm.
and this is just, it's because as I listen to what you're talking about,
Yeah.
I feel like that coming to Gaia's Zoom room is being in an OGs, literally, because we are all together and we are sharing, and it, you know, and each one of us has something to offer. Absolutely.
This is a seed of OGs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah. I hadn't seen it that way. Thank you, Joan. Yeah. I love the idea of our elders and our youth getting together and supporting each other and learning from each other. Now, my mom lives in a seniors complex, 55 and older, but I swear, you know, there's nobody there who's 55. They're all 65 or older. And, you know, there's so many that are so old that there's no energy, there's no laughter. Um, and it just, it's so depressing. I stayed there for the first 8 months of the lockdown, and to be in that atmosphere was very difficult. I was over 55, and I was deeply grateful that the back of the building was right on the river. So I was able to go down and sit on the banks of the river every day and sit in the sand and watch the river go by. And it was wonderful. And it's really, seniors complexes are dismal places. And there needs to be some way of bringing our elders into our society and making them an active part of all of those years of experience go to waste sitting in those places. I call them wisdom warehouses. And, you know, our children need to have people around them that are different.
Sorry.
I understand. You love your dogs and they're excitable. And so I see OGs as a way of mixing our generations together. And that's really important. And providing places for our elders to share their wisdom, you know, and not just to the babies, to the children, but to young people, you know, the teenagers, and to and give the support to their children who are having children, you know. So I feel that this is an important society facility in order to create what we want in our world and in our lives. And so let's go on to the norths, okay? Do you want to see the words this time? Your choice. Do you want to see the words this time or just listen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So the Norths. They're a two-car family in Westside. A father and mother both work, with two teenagers, one in sports, the other's a problem. They live on land that was flooded, so the house needs costly repairs. She works part-time in a grocery store. It's hard to find full-time work as she never knows when they're going to call her in for an extra shift and the money is needed. But she can drop in to work at the OGs anytime and for a few hours. Quiet transplanting or weeding, she can take produce home and bus tickets for the next day and avoid using the car. She's looking forward to when they open an OGs in Westside. He works shift work at the mill and it's hard work. He used to stop at the bar on the way home, but now he meets his wife at OGs. He works out and is learning how to carve, something his father did. Free lessons make it affordable and it's good to be around happy people. Sometimes the entire family eats dinner there because the food is good. The atmosphere is congenial and there's stuff to do after dinner, like dishes. His hands are soft now and his wife likes that. The daughter is struggling in school but loves grass hockey. Time after school is spent on the field and twice a week she goes to OGs where a tutor helps her with math and English. Thanks to seeing how math is used every day and calculating everything, she has learned the value of math, and hearing the way the storytellers weave words, she's turned herself around in the last 6 months. She's been spending time with a group of young people who are working towards a Camp Unsimaka, Grandmother Earth, summer holiday, where they go out to learn to live on the land and connect with the earth. The son has stopped hanging out with the bad crowd he used to. Actually, they've all started coming to the gardens, and it turns out they weren't bad after all. They just didn't have anything good to do. Now they're all thick as thieves up at the garden, working out in the pop and just making eyes at the girls, well chaperoned as they are. They're putting on some muscle and learning good ways from the elders. They'll make good husbands and fathers someday. What do you think, you guys? Do you think this would work for the young people?
I
It'd be nice.
imagine.
Sorry, go ahead, Joao.
Okay. I see many possibilities or many perspectives of coming from the young people from many realities, but I see this happening as your way to see also. If I'm seeing through you, I'm seeing this, and it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Excellent. Joan?
Well, my thought was, I like the idea of the kids spending time in a place like that, making their world a completely different place than the one that they lived in prior to coming to OGs. Because, like you said, the son was hanging out with some kids, but then all of a sudden, now all of those kids are at the garden, and they're not really they have stuff to do, other people to be with who they've never maybe even spent time with before, but find them very interesting.
Yeah.
And it leads to a completely different sense of how to live and how to be on a daily basis. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think the idea is very, very powerful and can lead to generations in the future of happy people. Thank you so much for your input, you guys. Let's go and find out what the South Hills are doing. They live up in Sahali. They're a temple-going Hindu family with room and board students attending Thompson River University. The grandparents live separately, one in Riverbend and in long-term care for Alzheimer's. Stay-at-home mom felt isolated since the kids started going to the OGs after school. While she's shy, she decided to see where her children went. They always come home laughing and bright-eyed. It was good to get her hands back in the dirt again. Too busy, they had hired a gardener a few years back. The nice woman at the OGs told her they would look into planting the crops she knows and was interested in seeing the baskets she wove as a girl. It would be so wonderful to be able to pass on that skill. It's not hard, but you need to pay attention at first, and a quiet corner in the garden is perfect for it. Or the moon room, a special room where menstruating women can get away and be by themselves, be pampered, eat, dance, and share with other women the stories of their lives, their joys and sorrows. She was told it's very popular, especially with women who work at the city who get time away from their jobs during their time of the month to volunteer at the gardens and spend time in the moon room. It's made a huge difference to the attitudes and atmosphere at the City Hall, and their participation has made the room a hub of the community. She's loyal to her temple, but it seems more like work now with so few participants. The new priest has inquired about OGs, and she suggested he might speak to the elders about talking at dinner sometime and joining the sharing circles. It's hard to attract new people to temple these days, but she could use some help. Maybe he can find some, but he's not supposed to preach. Just talk about the good things they believe and do and the history of the religion. He goes to the office and does his best to support the structure of the organization that supports the network that enables the flow of goods and surpluses resulting from OGs and private endeavors. When his day is over, it is his pleasure to join his wife and children for dinner prepared for them by people contributing their energies and efforts to providing healthy, beautiful meals. The kids go to the gardens after school to help plant, transplant, or tend the outside plants, clean up, and listen to Grandfather Weston tell stories. When they help out, They are given tasty meals and bus tickets to get home and back again. What's especially good is that they don't have to have any money to have a good time. The school is considering starting an OhGs on school property, and that would save on travel time, but they'd miss the stories and being with the people they've come to enjoy here. Knowing the bus will connect them makes it easier. Visiting the children's grandparents includes a once-a-month visit to Papa, who has Alzheimer's, and twice a month to Grandma, living in Riverbend. She still visits Papa almost daily, but he hardly recognizes her anymore, so it's disheartening. It was suggested that she bring Grandma with her sometimes so she can enjoy all the children. If she wants to come more often, she may be able to take the proposed dedicated bus. OhGs has become so popular, a schedule has become necessary. Staying with strange people who eat strange foods is a challenge when it's your first time away from home, and TRU students find the gardens to be a welcome alternative, as well as it being part of their classroom. To see the positive results of so many students' innovative work, like the POP, and to work with some who have been there since it started and just won't leave, is a testament to the integrity of the concept. The entry art piece was by a TRU student with only a few guidelines. It had to be grand. It had to show how bulrushes clean the water they live in. You put dirty water in here and it comes out clean here. And if they showed the life cycle and usages of the plant, they'd get extra credit. The contest was open to the public, but it was a TRU student who won. Could it have been because of all the research they did on the bulrushes and how to cultivate it? Now we have baskets we wove ourselves. Diapers don't go in the landfill, and we have great compost. The cattails, bulrushes, stand until we gather them. Young shoots taste great steamed. All those tiny little seeds can be ground fine like flour or planted and become 6 to 8 feet tall plants in a single season. The roots are like potatoes and new shoots will grow next year. Just thin them out and put them in the salad. There's a wide range of projects available to put one's mind to, as well as easy, quantitative measuring tasks like keeping track of the size of plants after 1, 2, and 6 months. Chef students are forever trying new ways to cook bulrushes and the other crops grown at the gardens. Psychology, nursing, and engineering students all get hands-on experience and enjoy the opportunity to interact with such a diverse community. Imagine the effect of the establishment of a network of Our Heart Gardens in cities and villages everywhere. Let's discover the reality together. Thank you so much for listening to me. Tell me, the South Hills was quite a big concept, and lots of different thoughts came up, I'm sure, in your minds. Can you share some of them with me?
Actually, I had a thought that I wanted to go back to that Jimena brought up.
What's that?
I kind of remember when we first started talking about OhGs, that there was a place where a person could go to be in private and have a place where they could sit quietly and be there as long as they needed for their privacy. Is that right?
We have spoken about that before, because I agree it is really necessary. And I haven't put that in this document, but I acknowledge the need for it. There are things that are happening in other, those other 1,000 OGs that are already in existence. And the concept of using repurposed buildings allow the ability to create different environments. I like to, and let me stop share because I want to look at your faces. I like to imagine a mall being used, being reused, repurposed for an OGs. So the different stores have the ability to have small places for people to get away. In gardens, if somebody wants to go and do transplanting, for example, of the bulrushes, and we need a lot of transplanting because they grow so fast. And if they want to take that into a private place where they can do what they want, what is needed in a private place, transplanting is one of those things that can allow you to be quiet in your own thoughts or to talk with others. So it can be either a social event or a private event. I imagine kiosks like libraries. You know what I'm talking about, the study carrels, where people can just be alone, work on their computer, and have power available to them. If they are working for the OGs, that would be included because it's an exchange of your effort into the collective. And so your use of power would be how you are reimbursed for the effort put in. It's, you know, whatever methods are being used to garden, it can be hydroponics, which can be indoors. If you're doing composting, that could be outdoors. And bringing the soil back and forth. Working can be done alone. It can also, there's other tasks that you do that are social. And so as you come in and are greeted by an elder and two kids, you can tell them, well, today I'm looking for something quiet to do. Or you can say, I would really like to get into, working with others. I want to learn something today. Who's doing the carving lessons today? Can I go and sweep up the floor so I can get a free lesson? It depends on the facility that you're in and who the resources that you have available to you. And I classify the people as resources as well. All of the learning, all of the experience that people have gone through, those are resources. And letting our resources sit in behind four walls all by themselves in their homes, that's community resources that are dormant and need to be activated and pulled into the community. And by giving them good things to do, instead of going to the casinos, instead of going to the bar, instead of, going and sitting and smoking pot somewhere all by themselves or with other people, we've got to find different ways of utilizing this beautiful life that we've been given and making it a good thing for other people to enjoy as well. So we have just a few minutes now. And so I would like to ask Joao, am I getting your name anywhere close to right?
Joe, I presume yes, it's João. João, but
Joel,
it's not a problem. You can,
thank you so much. But I do like to respect your name and you. And you have said that you'd like to share something with us. Would you do
yeah,
that, please?
yeah. Firstly, I want to comment this fan of the Southland. I really love the your way to write this. I love the moon room. It is crucial. This the purpose, the intentionality of the sacred, and and it's true. Give a lot of transformations only in these uh, few steps that we are changing the way your way to express it, the story was like in many ways have in sublines so much wisdom about the way if this happen this exist, what's the results of this, and you was beautiful. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad that it worked. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I will read this. It's a prophecy of a Hopi elder. I don't know if maybe you are aware, listening about this. I shared, and I also wanted to say about something. I am the movement that's called the Renaissance Explorers, and we are in the core of the decisions of the seeds movement and or coordinations, and we are starting. So we have these three spaces: that the inner space, the outer space, and the storytelling. In the inner space, these these texts that I will share now was read and had yeah, we will read now. The 11th hour, prophets of the Hope Elder. You have been telling the people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. And there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you right? Are you in a right relation? Know your garden. It's time to speak your truth. Be good to each other. And do not look outside yourself for a leader. This could be a good time. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swifty that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart, and they will suffer greatly. The river has its destination. The elders say, we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and your heads above the water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. And this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the people who have been waiting for.
Yes, we are.
Sorry about my bad English.
No, not at all. Having it spoken with an accent, I feel, makes it even more powerful. The man who wrote it, I don't think he wrote it in English.
Yes, true.
So thank you so much for reading that for us. It is one of the visions, one of the prophecies that have brought me this far. And I know that now is the time. And the river runs swiftly, very swiftly. And I have said that we got to keep our arms in because it'll rip our arms off if we don't. But that's much too violent a picture. So yes, we are swimming with the current here at Gaia's Zoom room. And I'm so glad to share Gaia's Zoom room with you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I'm going to read. Oh, no, you read it. That's great. Thank you so much for putting that into the chat. I will put that in the, I post our Tuesday evenings on Our Heart Gardens, the website, ourheartgardens.com. And it's all collected under Gaia's Zoom room. And Joao, I have mentioned you. And I've mentioned Shannon. And every week I have mentioned Joan. And I am so grateful to be able to do that. And I look forward to next week. Yeah. Well, heart to you too, fine sir. Thank you very much for coming. Ladies and puppy dogs, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Peace.